With Legends Quest sorted and Radimus Urkel happy with the gilded totem we brought him, we can now move on with the next step of Recipe for Disaster, saving ceramic vase. Compared to Legends Quest, this part of RFD is incredibly simple. In fact, we didn't actually need to fully finish Legends Quest, but I never much cared for abandoning a quest partway through if I can help it. There's vanilla in them there jungles, and I made sure to grab some before I finished Legends Quest, that way I didn't have to come back. And you remember back when I did Lost City, I got a few extra Draymond branches. Well, I got them specifically for this quest. We gotta grind it into cinnamon. The evil chicken was easy to kill, but the black dragon took a long time to whittle down. I managed though. Safe spots are wonderful. Killing a black dragon is an easy combat task, something I'm super excited to get started with once we get into the mid-game. The extra pest control points alone makes the rewards worth it. Everything else is just gravy. This footage, however, is from before the update to the combat tasks. Now every task gives points depending on the tier it's from, and after you hit a certain point milestone, you get rewarded for that milestone. This is in lieu of having to complete every task in a given tier for that tier's reward. It rewards players for doing harder content earlier, allowing higher level tasks to contribute to the lower tier rewards. Easy tasks give 1 point, mediums give 2, hard gives 3, so you could in theory do none of the easy tasks and a third as many of the hard tasks and get the easy tier reward. Don't know why you would, but you could. Oh, a fairy dragon. It may have 4 weaknesses, but it also has an immunity to dragon type attacks and 7 resistances. This really does look like the first stage of a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Free ceramic and get 57 cooking. Now Awawogi. We'll need to do Monkey Madness and get 70 cooking. I've got some fish in my bank, the little bit of stuff that I dredged up from my few Tempoross kills. Obviously it's not nearly enough to get me to 70 cooking. Even if I wanted to boost from 65, this wouldn't get me anywhere near there. So I had an idea. Why not do more Tempoross? Instead of doing boring fly fishing for hours, banking all the salmon and trout in Shiloh Village, why not just get a variety of raw fish from Watertodd? If I end up getting a high enough fishing level, maybe soloing could be an option. World hopping to buy grapes might be faster cooking XP per hour. I really don't know, I didn't check, but I doubt it's fast enough to convince me to do it. World hopping bores me after just a few minutes, so Tempoross it is. But because I detest being bored, I'm gonna get the angler's outfit first. Is there nothing more fun than the fishing trawler? You know, it's actually not so bad. You only need 50 contribution points to roll for a piece of the outfit, and you get that by attacking the Kraken tentacle just, 2 or 3 times. You don't even need to bring any supplies onto the boat with you. You just need an axe. The pet chances increase if you have max contribution, however, so if you're also chasing the heron pet, it might be worthwhile to come aboard with a bunch of swamp paste. Patching the holes is pretty easy contribution score. I didn't really care about the pet, so I just went with the lazy AFK method. First piece, angler boots, nice. Waders after 10 more rounds, not too bad. The drop rate is something like 1 in 12, so it seems pretty standard. Angler hat. So the chat box says, the luck of the sea is in today. You spot a piece of fishing gear caught up in the netting. Does this imply the angler set was dredged out of the ocean? And does that imply these are the threads of a man who died at sea? His corpse picked clean by crabs and starfish like some decaying whale? You think they'd have eaten the outfit too? Here's some behind the scenes footage scripting while AFKing the trawler. And that's the angler top. Got the entire set in 32 excursions. Definitely spooned. I hope that doesn't mean I'm gonna go really dry on something more important. I know that's not how statistics work, but that's how it feels, damn it. The angler outfit doesn't just give a slight boost to fishing XP, 2.5%, but also we'll need this outfit if we want to fish minnows in the future. And there's also a master clue step that requires fishing an anglerfish while wearing the full angler's outfit, future proofing. And it's better to get this grind out of the way early so I can get the most out of the XP boost, even if it's minuscule. Now I'm here in Taibo Wanai Village. Odd place to be if I want to kill Tempoross, but you see, I was informed by a viewer that you can barehand fish the harpoon fish and get free strength XP. I'd be using a regular harpoon anyway, meaning the catch rate would be the same. So the only reason not to barehanded fish would be if I were some every skill but strength locked Ironman. To learn how to fish barehanded, we gotta do Barbarian training, and to do Barbarian training, we gotta do Taibo Wanai Trio. We even get some cooking XP from Tinze. What a guy. Barbarian training is such a weirdly niche thing in this game. Making fires with bows and adding rota potions is odd. I do wonder if there was ever a plan to expand on it, or if the original incarnation was never really meant to be much of anything, just kind of like a fun thing to add to the game that has no real purpose. But then some of the Barbarian training stuff does have a purpose, like making pyre ships for an attempt at getting a dragon full helm, or making hostas, or fishing barehanded. It's weird. Oh, defeating Tempoross while wearing the full angler outfit is a hard combat task. Neat. Of course, no amount of Tempoross can distract me from my birdhouse runs, and on this run we get 58 Hunter, unlocking the ability to catch nature implings using a net. Unless we want to lock ourselves in the Wintertodt again, chasing a 1 in 200 drop, then these nature implings are going to be the answer to our one more magic log problem. Let's just give it a whirl before we jump back to Tempoross. Catch a few nature implings, see if we get lucky. My god, these things are a colossal pain in the ass. Yeah, bring bind runes. I know, but here's the thing, I didn't think to do that. Magic log! Now we get everything we need to do desert treasure. I went back to Tempoross for a little bit longer, long enough to get 102 permits. Every kill is about 3 or 4 permits when you're in a mass world, at least for me, so it's about 20 to 25 kills. It'd probably be wiser to hold on to these permits until I got a higher fishing level since the loot scales. Above 80, you never get anything lower leveled than bass, but I need raw fish, so we're just gonna have to eat those lost opportunity costs. I'm most excited about these caskets though. A fish is a fish, but a mystery casket could be anything. It could even be a fish. Gold bar is not too bad. A RuneScape gold bar weighs 1.8 kilograms, and gold's current value based on a quick Google search that I took 10 seconds to do is about 60 USD per gram. So these two caskets had around, $15 million worth of gold. With my fishing level now in the low 60s, I thought it'd be fun to give soloing Tempoross another try. And you know, I think I prefer it to the mass worlds. Like Wintertod masses, I feel like I'm racing against everyone else for points. There's still some specific timing you need to be aware of when soloing Tempoross, unlike Wintertod, but it's cyclical and always the same. With a high enough fishing level, solo Tempoross is basically scripted, and I don't hate that. It's more interesting than regular fishing, that much is true, for me at least. I think it's the loot that makes it more fun. Pull the lever, let the slot machine spin, what you gonna get? Raw tuna. I don't want to be in this casino anymore, this casino's gross. I did enough solos to get 150 reward permits. I'd usually get about 9 per kill, sometimes 10. It was probably about 15 kills, 6-ish kills per hour, 2.5 hours total, and the loot was not underwhelming, but not really overwhelming. I'm whelmed. Assuming I don't burn anything, we're looking at around 150,000 XP. We're looking at another 4 hours of soloing Tempoross, along with a few hours of cooking. You know what? I got 65 fishing during this Tempoross campaign. I can catch Kourend now. They only require 38 cooking to cook. They can be 1-ticked, so you can cook them really fast, and they're pretty easy to fish up. And unlike RS3, the bait for them, Kourend are stackable, so you can very easily get thousands of them ahead of time. Thanks to the fairy ring near the Kourend fishing spot, it's super easy to bank them, and thanks to the unintended engine quirk preventing the Kourend spot from moving, they're super easy to AFK. The reward from the easy Kourend and Kebos achievement diary, Rada's Blessing, grants a 2% chance to catch 2 fish, effectively increasing our fish per hour by 2%. Part of the task set involves giving a book to one of those people in the Arceus library too lazy to find it themselves. You get 2.5% favor each time you do it, so I'm just going to max out the favor while I'm here. With how you have to walk around the library, you can easily pick up every book on the way to the specific book you need, and a lot of the time you'll be asked to bring a book you already have on you multiple times in a row. Of all the houses, this is probably the easiest one to max out. Hasidius is pretty easy, but it's nowhere near this easy. At least here, you get an XP book you can use on magic or rune crafting. 11 times your level for magic XP, 4 times for rune crafting. I never thought I'd opt for magic XP over rune crafting XP, but Guardians of the Rift is just that good. We get Rada's Blessing 1 from Elise in the Kourend courtyard. Now, we can get fishing after the obligatory chowder reference. The best way for me to bank is to use the fairy ring and teleport to the Chasm of Fire in the Shazian region of Kourend. It's actually the closest bank to a fairy ring. I mean, unless you count Crafting Cape teleport, and then you could bank there, and then teleport to your house and there's a fairy ring there. I'm just talking about like what I have right now. This is the closest bank to a fairy ring. Banking in Zinaris is also an option, even though the bank is further away, but you don't have to futz around with entering in any fairy codes. Right click to Zinaris, left click to last destination, the Kourend location. Also, I have some of the spirit flakes I got from Tempoross. Every time you catch a fish, there is a 50% chance to double your catch. A flake is consumed every successful catch, whether or not the fish was doubled. You can also use 1,200 of these flakes to change the appearance of each piece of the angler outfit, turning it into the spirit angler outfit. It's exactly the same as a regular outfit, but you can use it as a rope during the Tempoross fight. It's basically a cosmetic change. Maybe I'll do that when I start chasing collection logs. Here we are, hours later, cooking on the Hasidius range. You have a 5% lower burn chance here, and we'll be burning quite a lot of Kourend, so we need as many boosts as we can get. For whatever reason, Kourend have this weird ability to defy ticks. If you hold down the spacebar and use the Kourend on the range over and over again, you'll cook, or burn, a Kourend every tick, assuming you're fast enough. At max efficiency, you can expect hundreds of thousands of XP per hour. I was burning over 20% of them and was still managing over 350,000 XP per hour. I did, however, realize much too late that the Hasidius range doesn't actually work when one-ticking Kourend. Apparently the burn reduction is programmed to ramp up as you cook fish, so every time you restart the cooking process, you lose the buff. It would have been smarter for me to cook these Kourend in the Rogue's Den since I wouldn't have to run back and forth from the bank. Oh well. So if you have your game in resizable and press the Alt key, you can move your inventory around and put it wherever you want. I wonder where else this might have some useful applications. 1,200 raw Kourend became roughly 1,000 cooked Kourend. Fastest 190,000 cooking XP I've ever gotten. But we're still not done. We're partway through level 67. I could stop here and just boost to 70 for that part of RFD, but I still have a bunch of raw Tempoross fish I didn't cook. Level 70 is about 740,000 XP, I'm at 596,000, that's about 150,000 XP more I need. How fortunate that that's how much cooking XP worth of raw fish Tempoross gave me. Okay, so I burned some of the fish and had to get more calm ones. Not a problem though. That's 70 cooking. Oh yeah, we can make admiral pies. Just what we were looking for. I think the best thing about this grind is now I've got a stockpile of pretty good food. There's the tick eating gimmick you can do with Kourend where you can eat another piece of food and the Kourend really quick or something like that. But on its own, Kourend still heal for 18 health each. Better than a monkfish and just a bit worse than a shark. And you can catch them and cook them really fast. I'm gonna be honest, they're kinda overpowered, but that's fine, we'll need them. Shortly after Zamorak defeated Zaros, the Majorat upstart went on a campaign across Galenor to erase all evidence that Zaros and his empire ever existed. Azinadra, a fellow Majorat and one of Zaros' most loyal followers, continued to be a thorn in the side of not only Zamorak but Saradomin as well. Although busy fighting a war against each other, both Zamorakian and Saradominist forces decided to work together in subduing Azinadra, and they did this by binding him to a pyramid in the Kourind desert, the very same desert Zaros had tried so hard to claim as his own. 4 diamonds acted as keys to his cell, and each was entrusted to a different Zamorakian warrior who would guard them for thousands of years. That is until a nosy little adventurer got a stick up his ass and wanted to see what was trapped inside the mysterious pyramid.
Fareed, I'm here for the smoke diamond. These ice gloves prevent your magics from ripping this staff from my very own hands. Honestly, you'd be surprised how versatile these things actually are.
Okay, Razzalo's Cross. I've got 50 lockpicks. Hopefully this is more than enough. Oh, 3 attempts. Well, that's a unique experience. I've never gotten it that quick. Damus is scared of rats, so if you get a rat to stand between you and him, he won't come anywhere near you. I feel wrong abusing somebody's musophobia. Exploiting anxiety disorders ain't all that nice, but you know, Damus has something I want, and that's basically a death sentence for any NPC in an RPG. There's some interesting backstory regarding Roundton. Back in the day, Jagex had an internship program, and one of the interns wanted to make a multi-part quest. A bunch of assets were created for these quests, but the intern made several odd choices, like making the quest giver the final boss, and teleporting all players to the quest start location. Some weird things. There was also some questionable dialogue that was, at best, insensitive to Muslims, and this was 20 years ago, mind you. The intern never got to finish the quest, but it would have been a shame to throw away a bunch of those assets, and thus we saw the addition of a bunch of one-off characters such as our friendly neighborhood sewer gremlin, Roundton. So if you flick your prayers between protect from ranged and melee with the correct rhythm, you can kinda sorta get Dessus to dance around you. The wiki said this makes the fight easier. I don't know if it actually does, but I managed to kill him anyway, so hooray. Why Malik has the blood diamond is anyone's guess. Time for Camille. Whoop. Wow, ice trolls are strong. Can you stop with the freezing? Let me attack you. Thank you, man. Ow. Ow. Oof. Ow. Who's this guy? Oh, well, that's a name. I like that Camille, an immortal warrior blessed by Zamorak to guard the diamonds holding back the unlimited power of an ancient Majorat mage, goofed and let a troll swipe the very thing he's tasked with protecting. One job. He had one job. I guess promoting unbridled chaos doesn't make for a very competent workforce. Blood. Smoke. Ice. Shadow. Heart.
By your powers combined, I am
Azinadra. Desert Treasure is a master quest, but the XP reward from this one was left untouched because it's magic XP. Jagex didn't change the combat rewards because pures, I guess. I like what RS3 does for a lot of quests. You just get an XP lamp and you can choose to destroy it if you don't want the XP. Still got 60 magic though. We'll get around to getting a god cape sometime in the future, eventually. Unrelated to Barrow's gloves, but worth mentioning, you know how there are a bunch of diary tasks that require using a mithril grapple shortcut? Going over walls, across bodies of water, up cliffs, you know, all that stuff. So I wanted to get my hand on a grapple, maybe knock out some of those diary tasks, maybe finish some diaries. I don't know. So I got the smithing level to make one, but I didn't realize I needed a higher fletching level to attach the bolts. And the spices I was getting from Evil Dave's rats just weren't cooperating. Instead, I went to the Barbarian skeletons in the Waterfall dungeon. They have a very slight chance to drop a fully completed mithril grapple. I waited until everything was non-aggressive in this area and just started safe spotting them. Pretty easy magic XP. Well, after 40 kills, I didn't get the grapple, but I did get a rune scimitar. I wasn't even aware these guys dropped them. Go figure. Guess it'll make the 60 attack grind a bit faster. Speaking of 60 attack, let's do the quest that unlocks the dragon scimitar. I'm gonna get all the monkey bones I need ahead of time so I don't have to make as many trips to Zap Noodle or whatever the name of that gnome wizard is. Also, if you notice, I'm using Ivan's Blast because I had upgraded my Ivan's staff. By giving 200k to the Dark Wizard in West Ardoin, he'll upgrade your Ivan's staff so it can cast Ivan's Blast 2,500 times instead of 120. Totally worth it, and it's also a medium arty task, so we'd have to do it eventually anyway. This fight against the jungle demon is so trivial with protection prayers. I remember hiding over on the sidelines while the gnomes chipped away at this guy. I brought my small stash of adamant arrows because I was worried iron wasn't gonna cut it. Now we all know arrow tier doesn't actually affect accuracy, but do you really think I was thinking about that at the time? No, adamant is better because adamant is adamant. Now to free Awawogi. And no, I didn't forget to get Dairo's training. I'm holding off on it until after I get Barrow's gloves. I've committed to the gloves at level 60 thing. I bet the record is like level 24 or something absurd, but I don't care, I'm having fun. It's come to my attention. In the UK, peanuts are called monkey nuts, which means A, there are peanuts in RuneScape, and B, the person who first tried marketing peanuts in the UK is a moron. Know what sounds more edible than peanuts? Monkey nuts. Nothing more satisfying than monkey nuts in your mouth. There's something super relieving about not having to boost for this quest. I don't think I've ever done this quest without boosting, so coming here without having to faff about with all that is pretty nice. Be free, Monkey King. Alright, the setup is pretty jank. The gear is kinda awful, but I think we'll be able to manage if we... Huh? I need 175 quest points? I didn't know that was a requirement. Watchtower gives 4 quest points, so let's do that. I want to finish up the Candor and Easy tasks first though. I only had a couple tasks left, and the reward acts as a light source, and we need a light source for Watchtower, so why not? Quest done, not really much to talk about, but picking a Cave Nightshade in the Scavid Caves was the last task I needed for the medium arty diary. Let's just grab that from 2 pints real quick. The most notable thing about this reward is the 10% better pickpocketing chance in all of Ardoin. This makes it possible to have a 100% success rate when pickpocketing Knights of Ardoin at level 95 thieving. Bit of a ways away, but nice to have regardless. Okay, now the final boss fight. Agrith Nana was tough. Its defense was high and my accuracy was low. These situations call for a bit of Ring of Recoil cheese, and it worked pretty well, although I'm not totally sure why I was wearing melee armor with a Tome of Water. Flambéed was a lot easier. Accuracy was less of an issue since it has a low magic level and I could just snare it in place and run away, so I barely took any damage. My first attempt at Caramel was tough because I didn't bring any restore potions. The second time around went so smoothly, I actually didn't have to bank for dessert. Ivan's Blast made super quick work of him. Gelatinoth Mother. First try was a mess. Who'd have guessed wearing mage robes against a ranged-based enemy would be a bad idea. I went back in with melee armor and barely got hit. It's just so counterintuitive that your magic attack bonus doesn't really matter at all if your enemy's magic level is really low. And finally, the Cullen Romancer. He's dying. It's not a fetish, I swear. 20,000 Herblore XP is nice and all, but the real prize is in the basement. 130k for the best gloves, kinda. In the game, you know it.